Mine is
No, no,
video.
the other one, yeah. Is it on video?
Can I start it?
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Okay. Okay, start?
Yeah.
Okay, good morning, Saheli. How are you?
Good, good.
Welcome back to our second lesson.
Sure.
And before we start, I need to check and see if you have your driver's license. Can you show it to me?
Sure.
Okay, that's you. Glasses on. Same address? No.
Same address.
Okay, there you go. I'm going to give it back to you. And today, our topic is a residential left turn, right? Or simple left turn. So here is the goal for today. The goal is at the end of the lesson, you'll be able to complete this topic on your own without my help. So in other words, I will let you do it once at least to see that you've made the improvements to do it by yourself without my help. That's the goal.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, the reasons why we are learning this, it's really for two main reasons. One is for safe driving, and the other is for the road test. Right? And there are a few legal requirements that I need to teach you. So I want to make sure you understand what is it that we are looking for on the road. So the first one is if there's a sign like this one here that says no left turn, of course we're not going to make the turn. We'll just continue. Right? But more commonly you'll see stop signs. All right. Do you know the difference between these?
Stop sign.
Okay. Well, they're both stop signs.
Both stop sign, but this is always stop sign and this is only
Okay.
stop sign.
Do you know the difference?
Yes. So
Okay. What's the difference?
So the always stop sign is whatever car coming in all directions, they will stop and then they will proceed based on the sequences. And the stop sign is only the car which is going into direction to the stop sign, they have to stop.
Okay.
And then they have to make sure that there is no traffic on the road, and then they will proceed.
Okay, so very clear as to what you're looking for, but I want to confirm that it is what you're saying. So basically, if you have a regular stop sign, it's either one or both directions having the stop sign. So if it's a T intersection like this, you have it on one side. If it's a through intersection with a cross, then it's both sides that have it. But cross traffic from both directions do not have it. You do not have the right of way. You have to yield to vehicles and pedestrians and cyclists that's coming this way.
Yes.
Right? Whereas the always stop sign, everybody here has a stop sign.
Stop sign.
So the general rule is first to stop, first to proceed. You know, there's more rules, but I'll expand that later as we continue doing the lesson.
Sure.
Okay? So, but more importantly, there's also what we call the legal stopping positions. There's three of them. The first one, and is the most common, is called a stop line. This thick white line is called a stop line.
Okay.
Whenever you see it, you must have the car stop it so that the hood of the car just covers it. So you no longer see this, then that's where you stop. And if you remember from the demonstration last time, I was walking in front and I said, how far am I? Well, we said it's about 3.5 meters away.
Yeah.
Well, if you cover the line here, it's about 2.5.
Yeah.
All right. So that's first position. The second position is if there's no stop line, then we look for the sidewalk or the pedestrian crosswalk. Whichever it appears, that's where we stop. All right. If there's none of these two, then we actually stop at the edge of the road where the curb meets the other side. So do you see the driveways on the left? There's always a curb and a curb.
okay.
Well, imagine that is the
Line.
edge of the road, and there's a line connecting the two sides. That's where we stop.
Stop.
Is that clear enough?
Yeah.
All right. So most likely we'll see these two for today.
Okay.
Occasionally you might see this one. Okay. All right. So if that's okay, then we also need to signal for all our turns, and we have to yield to cars and pedestrians. That's the law. All right. So those are the legal requirements that I've set. Now I'm going to go to the steps for the left turn, but I'm going to also include left curves. So here's the general rules for any turn or curve. We need to approach the curve, we need to turn here, and we need to recover. That's the three parts of a turn that you always have to deal with.
Yeah.
So the first thing is we're talking about a curve, which is a continuous road where it just goes into a bend, but it's still the same street. So we apply slow down or coast. So what does that mean? Slow down means this. If our speed is at 50 kilometers per hour, do you think we could use 50 kilometers per hour to maneuver this curve? No. If we are at this speed, or even 40, we need to slow down to 15 to 20 kilometers per hour. that would be braking, as in threshold braking that you learned last time. If our speed is, let's say, 25 to 30, then we don't need to brake. This here we brake because without braking, the car would not work.
Okay.
This one here is coast. Now, what does coast mean? Is let the car off the gas pedal, off the brake pedal, nothing at all. Let the car roll on its own. So another word, fancy word for that is roll. Does that make sense?
Roll, yeah.
Okay, so if you follow that next time, 50, 40, 35 even, brake. 25, 30, around there, you could coast. And that will start slowing down the car because of the friction on the road. Does that make sense? All right, so that's what coast and slow down here means. Next one is scan around. That means we're looking for cars that's coming from the other side. We're looking for pedestrians that's crossing the road. We're looking for cars that's coming from behind. Here, there's no signaling required.
Okay.
Why? Because it's the same road.
Same road.
You're not going to be able to go straight or turn right. There's only one option, and that's why we don't need to signal. All right?
What if we are student or we give signal?
There's no need for it. If you do it, it's misleading. Are you going to someone's driveway?
Okay.
A side street? No. So therefore, it's not necessary.
Not necessary.
Now, then there is the reference A, B, and C that I like to clarify as to where it is. So for any turn, point A is the transition point between the road being straight to the road curving like this. Do you notice at at A to B, it curves?
Yeah.
Well, this is A. A is any road where the road starts to curve. So really, for this particular turn in front, we have a stop sign ahead.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
That stop sign is basically point A.
Point A.
Point B is halfway into the turn. So those two cars in the driveway, right in the middle, there's like a tree. That's about halfway into the turn or curve. Point C is there's a sign, that's the street name sign in the tree in the driveway. That's point C right here. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So let's talk about what we do at point A, B, and C. And I'm going to show you with a steering wheel cover.
Yeah.
So if you hold this for a moment, I'd like you to take a look and see what I'm doing. At point A, you've already learned this, quarter left.
Quarter left.
But when we steer quarter left, we don't steer like this here. We can't continue because it locks. So we hold it for this position for about 2 seconds. And the reason why? It's very simple. From A to B, it doesn't take much time for us to steer, maybe a half a second. But there's still another half a second remaining. So we just hold the steering wheel in this position for an additional half a second.
Okay.
Then from B, that's where we start applying the hand over hand steering. Now, look at what I'm doing, hand over hand steering. I have this hand here. If I continue steering, what will happen is the hand will lock.
Lock.
I don't want this to lock. So when I get to point B, I have to let go of the bottom hand, which is 6 o'clock. The top hand, 12 o'clock, will continue to steer until what time?
9.
9. That's correct. When I'm 9, this hand will extend as far as it can go. Now I have to bring this hand to 12.
Yeah.
So altogether, I've done half a turn at this time, but that's not enough. So I have to continue steering with the 12 o'clock hand until it reaches 9. And how much steering is this?
A 3/4.
That's correct. So in other words, a left turn or curve will involve roughly 3/4 of a turn. Right? And this is a true hand over hand.
Yeah.
So when we finish this, it's between B and C. So in other words, A, you do a quarter first. B, you do the remaining half. Once you're at point C, most importantly, look ahead. That simply means you don't look at the cars in the driveway. You have to look on the other side of the road where this is to see if there's hazards. But more importantly, not to look at the curb or the oncoming vehicles. Because if we look at that, we're going to go right into the opposite direction, if not hit the curb.
Yeah.
And most importantly, we're going to speed up. How much speed? Do you remember I said 1.5K?
1.5K.
Well, this is where we use the same thing, 1.5K.
Yeah.
And then loosen up. Now, what does loosen up mean? It does not mean let go of the steering wheel, okay? So here's what this means. I'm going to show you. Look at this here. I'm holding this bottle really, really tight. Is this going to fall out of my hand? No, there's no way it's going to fall out. But look what happens if I actually loosen up where my fingers go loose. There's a slight grip with the palm of my hand. What just happened there?
It's sliding.
It slides down.
Yeah.
And this technique that I'm talking about is called loosen up. Once, twice, up to 3 times if needed. But you speed up and loosen up at the same time. You cannot separate the two.
Okay.
Okay, so here's this. I'm going to let you try this to make sure you get this to get the feel of it. So when we get to point A, which is a stop sign, let's say go quarter left, hold it for half a second. This hand let go. This hand continue steering until 9. This hand now bring it to 12.
Good.
This hand will let go. This hand bring it to 9. Oh, no. That hand has to let go first.
Yeah.
This hand, that's it. Now you have 9 reach. Now you go back to 3. Otherwise, if you hold it, it'll be locked. You can't steer anymore.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right.
And
so,
then the speed and
then
usually-
we speed up and loosen up at the same
Loosen
time.
up
So
and
here's
then-
what I'm going to do. Let's go back and let's just, try this one more time. Okay. So if I say quarter left, just pretend you're steering. Quarter left, left. Yep. Hold it for half a second. Continue steering, hand over hand. Yep. Yeah, correct. Go on top. That's it. Now, when I say 1.5K gas and loosen up, both hands stay at the same point. 1, 2, and possibly 3 times. So I'm using the steering wheel to simulate the recovery process. Is this much easier for you to understand? Okay, good. So if you got that concept in your head, then the next part will be just as easy. So take a look at this. The only difference here is we're making a turn without a stop sign. So it's almost the same idea. Our speed is still 15 to 20 kilometers per hour here versus over here. The only difference is now we have the choice to go straight, left, or to the right. Then we have to have the indication as to where we are going by checking our mirror, signaling left, and blind spot before we brake. That's the first set of steps. So really, when I say set of steps, it's really technically one procedure, but we always do it before braking. Yes.
Okay.
So whenever you're about to press the brake, don't press it yet until you apply mirror, signal, blind spot.
So twice. There's going to be twice. Then before brake and then after.
Yes,
brake.
and we slow down. Now the same thing as before. If our speed is, let's say 40, 50, then we're going to use threshold braking and get down to 15 to 20 kilometers per hour. If our speed is around 20, 25, then we're going to coast until A. Once we're at A or close to it, we could look left, center, right, left for cars and pedestrians. Cars would be coming this way, and this way. Pedestrians will be crossing most likely this way, but possibly this way as well. All right. So if we see it, we have to yield by stopping just past A. And we treat it like the same as a stop sign, which we're going to talk about in a moment. But if there's no need for us to stop, then we'll continue with the turn, assuming there's no cars, by applying quarter left from A to B. From B, I apply hand over hand, which is half a turn more. At point C, look ahead, speed up, loosen up. So really, there's no change after point B. It's exactly the same. Got it?
So from A to B, quarter.
Yep.
And B to C is another quarter.
Half.
Another half.
Half, not quarter. It has to be more than the original.
Yeah.
All right.
Half.
If there's oncoming traffic, then the traffic has to be at least 3 lampposts away. Do you see the lampposts over here?
Yeah.
There's 1, there's 2, and do you see the third one right before the stop sign?
Yeah.
Well, that's 1, 2, 3 that we're looking for if there's a car coming
Yeah.
from here. All right, so got that?
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at the last situation. It's the always stop sign or regular stop sign. It doesn't really make a difference. Mirror, signal, blind spot before we brake. The only difference is our speed must be 0 because we have to come to a complete stop. Once we stop, then look left, center, right, left.
Right. And
If we cannot see only for a regular stop sign, then we inch up.
Yeah.
If it's an always stop sign, no need to inch up. We go directly if we're first to stop.
Yeah.
So if we inch up, we can only get to block off half of the sidewalk if needed for the regular stop sign.
Yeah.
But we only do it if there's anything blocking our view. I'm going to show you how to do it. Before we turn, at this time, you may not need to check your blind spot. I'll check it for you. But if in a later lesson you feel comfortable, I'll get you to add this back in. So for the time being, I'll eliminate the blind spot so you don't have too much to look for. But the same thing, as we start, our speed is 0, yes?
Yes.
We can't turn with 0 kilometers per hour.
No.
So we need to go to the gas pedal from point A. How much gas?
Take
Take a guess.
15 to
1.5K.
1.5K.
Yeah. So from A to B, the only difference is before we coast, now we go accelerate up to 1.5K and apply quarter left at the same time. All right. Once we get to B, no gas.
No gas.
Just steer hand over hand with another half a turn more. Point C, speed up, loosen up, same as before.
So B to C get off the gas.
Off the gas pedal. It's only C that you apply again.
The gas based.
So
on
you
this.
accelerate twice. Once here between A to B,
Yeah.
off. After C,
See, then you
accelerate again.
it.
is that much clearer now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now I have a few questions to ask you, but I don't want to ask you useless questions like, "Oh, do you understand?" What are you going to give me as the answer? You're always going to say,
Yes, I do.
"Yes." Are you clear?
Pretty much.
Do you have any questions?
Mm.
You're going to say no. Because
Most
if-
likely no.
No. But you see, these are useless questions. You should not ask these useless questions. And the reason for not asking it is, for asking, it's like, you're going to get always the same response. But don't ask a complicated questions like, "Oh, can you repeat everything I said?" Huh? You talked for like 10 minutes. How am I supposed to repeat everything you said?
Yeah.
That's impossible. So we have to pick and choose what we want. So let's go for a quick recap with what we call confirming questions. Okay, so Haley, as we actually are approaching the curve and our speed is at 40, do we use threshold braking or do we coast to point A?
Coast.
No, that would be too fast. You need braking because 40,
Okay.
30, 20 to 30, 25 to 30, you could coast.
Coast. Okay. So 40 to 40,
Anything above 30, really,
yeah,
you need to
need
brake.
to brake and bring it down to 15.
That's
to 20.
correct. Now, when we get to point A, do we start quarter left for half a second, hold it, or is it 1 second before we start the turn?
Half a second.
That's correct. When we get to point C, all right, do we speed up and let go of the steering wheel, or do we speed up and loosen up?
No, when we
Three
go
times,
to the
up to three
B
times.
to C, we
No, we're talking about at point C.
point C, then speed up and loosen up 3 times.
Okay, that's correct. Up to 3 times.
Up to
It could
three
be
times.
once, it could be twice,
It depends.
maybe if needed 3 times.
Yeah.
Okay, is that much clearer?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if we're turning here and there's no cars coming, what's the speed that I said that's ideal to use for this turn? Is it 10 to 15 kilometers per hour or 15 to 20 kilometers per hour?
15 to 20.
15 to 20 kilometers per hour. That's correct.
Yeah.
Now, if there happens to be a pedestrian, should we wait at right past point A, or should we go and wait at point B?
No, we will wait right past
Straight
point.
at point A. That's correct. Because if you start turning, well, if there's a car coming, then you're going to be affecting traffic.
Affecting traffic.
So we have to wait for the pedestrian to finish by waiting at point
Okay.
A. Okay, now let's ask you the last question. Now, when we get to the stop sign and we see that there's another car coming and it's the hallway, should we wait or should we go first?
So whoever comes first,
We're first.
so then we will proceed.
That's correct. Do you see what I've done with these questions? I have told you this
The
steps.
Steps.
I'm just reviewing and making sure that you got
You
it.
got it.
Because if you gave me the wrong answer, such as the 40 as the answer,
Then you
then I
correct
know you're still confused.
Yeah.
That's why I need to explain further to confirm that yes, you know it, or no, you don't know it.
Yeah.
Do you see the purpose?
Yeah.
Whereas if I ask you, do you have any questions? Of course you don't. Are you clear? No. Yes. No student will be stupid enough to say no. They'll be embarrassed. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you hold on to this?
Sure.
And the next step, now that I'm done with this, is I asked 3 questions, is to demonstrate 2 times.
Yeah. I do.
So I'm going to go around the block and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm doing.
Okay.
If you don't mind
So should
holding.
I
Yeah, well,
give
you could put it all here, but look at the steps that I'm applying and see if it matches what I'm saying. All right? Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. So I'm going to get ready to go. Foot brake on, parking brake release, put the car in drive, mirror, signal, blind spot, quarter left, give it 1.5K, 1/4 right, straight. Okay, so at the stop sign, I'll be turning left. So at this point, look at my speed. What speed is it?
Is it 28?
So I'm gonna have to use threshold braking for this. And there's a pedestrian here that's walking this dog. So mirror, signal, blind spot before I brake. And I'm using threshold braking. And there's no line clearly visible, but I know there's a sidewalk. So this is where I stop.
Yeah.
I look left, center, right, left. There's a tree on this side that's blocking my view. This
side
side is
is
okay. So look what I'm doing. I'm going to go forward, and I'm going to inch up as I get to point A, quarter left. I confirm left and right. Is it safe? Yes or no?
Safe.
Yes, it is. This is point A. Now I give it 1.5K gas. At point B, I used hand over hand. At point C, speed up, loosen up. Once, twice. That's it. A curve, I don't need to signal. So that's the previous page. Here, I slow down, and the birdhouse that's over here,
Yeah.
this is point
Point A.
A, quarter left. The yellow sign here, B, hand over hand. C, this basketball net here, speed up, loosen up.
Yes.
I'm looking far up ahead. That's look ahead.
Ahead.
Now, even though it's 40, I don't have to go necessarily at 40
Because of the
weather condition, yes. And at the first street, I'll be making a left-hand turn as well. Now, this time, we don't have a stop sign, but there's a car that's coming out of the driveway. I most likely won't be in conflict with them. So I apply mirror, signal, blind spot before I start
The car
slowing
is
down.
taking U-turn.
Okay, I might as well wait for them here. I'm not sure what they're doing. Okay, and I'm going to go apply quarter left, B, hand over hand, C, speed up, loosen up, looking far ahead. Once, twice. Is that so far matching what I said?
Yes.
All right, I'm approaching this curve. The green box over here approximately
point A.
is point A, quarter left.
Quarter left.
B, halfway into the curve.
into the-
I don't use the extra space. There's point C over here, speed up, loosen up. Looking at the end of the street at the white garage door. How's that?
It is
Mirror,
safer.
signal, blind spot. Would you like me to demonstrate one more time, or you think you're okay?
This is good.
That's good. Okay, I'm gonna park the car. I'm gonna ask you a few more questions just to see how you observed while I was doing the demonstration. First of all, when I got to the stop sign, did I come to a complete stop?
Yes.
When I had the obstruction of the tree on the right, or bushes, what did I do? Did I immediately go, or did I inch up?
You inch up, so you.
While I inch up, did I give it gas or no gas?
No gas.
No gas. Did I go do quarter left, or did I leave it straight?
No, you lifted it straight.
No, quarter left.
When in the point A, then point A to B, you did quarter left.
That's correct. Okay, and when I finished, did I loosen up or did I let
you
go?
loosen up and
And you
speed
saw
up.
how I loosen up once, twice in most
And
cases.
then most cases like 2.5 of situation.
That's correct. And for the curve, I didn't need to signal, so
Signal.
which is fine.
You just
And
have to make sure
that's
that
correct.
you
When I
observe.
got to the next turn here, there was a car there. Did I happen to stop or no?
Okay, slow down.
I just slowed down to take caution,
Yeah.
and I have still applied A, B, and C using the same technique.
Yes.
Okay, is this much clearer to you?
Yes, clear now.
Okay, good. So here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to walk out to the car, and we're going to exchange seats. And I want you to walk from the front and look for cars before you enter.
Sure.
You put all this stuff over here.